So this is me getting started with Play-Doh, working towards his back teeth. He's not a kicker, however, you can tell through some of it, he is nervous, just about being touched back there, and can get a bit flighty, so he wants to leave the situation. And that's the thing we have to work through. So that way those back teeth can get done. Luckily, he settles down pretty quickly with it, and we're able to continue. And I'm starting with just the stick of an old whip, and something that's going to allow me a little distance, at the same time isn't going to cause too much commotion, like a flag right now. I think that would probably set his flight off a little bit more. So we're just going to start simple with something that isn't too scary, and I can still reach and rub with. So this is going to be similar to his front feet and the fly spray. I am using kind of a pressure release system here. So I put pressure on by just using the whip to lightly rub on him and basically just petting him with it. Starting, of course, where he's more comfortable. You're going to start with the neck and shoulder, work on going over the back, and then towards the hind end. And then down the back legs again. Just light rubbing and petting. Now, the important part is, whenever he moves, I gotta try to stick with it. And wait until the feet stop moving and he settles a bit. And then I can remove the pressure, which is just the stick touching on him. If I release, when he runs, bolts, gets worried, again, just going to confirm to him that that was the correct answer, and it's not really what I want out of him, right? I want him to be able to stand calmly and accept handling of the back end with his feet and also his tail. He has a little bit of matting to his tail. It's not awful, but again, something I want to be able to get to and get brushed out and taken care of so it doesn't get bad. But first I have to be able to safely just be around that back end and also not frighten him, because that takes away the whole purpose of all of it. Now, of course, it's a process to get him comfortable with that, and there's going to be a lot of repetition. And I'm going to go down one side quite a bit until he feels somewhat comfortable, and then we can switch and do the other side as well. I don't want to do a lot of back and forth. I just want to start on the one side, so that way he can figure it out and get comfortable there, and then we can continue to build and grow with the other. You're gonna see here soon, not only am I gonna touch down those back legs, I'm also gonna start playing with that tail a little, so he can get used to that feeling as well. You can see, since he's standing pretty quietly, even though he's a little unsure, I'm just rubbing, do the tail, then a nice release, giving him some scratches, and kind of a bit of a break in between every time I rub on him. So that way he knows that was a good job. And here now we're going to start down his right side and repeat the process. Now it really depends on your horse. Some can go from one side to the other and it not be a big deal. Others have one side that they're typically much more sensitive on. It is normally the right side. Now he's a little funny because he will offer you his right side sometimes doing things, especially once you've done so much to the left side. And sometimes he almost seems more comfortable on the right side. However, like with the fly spray, he was comfortable with it more on the left, and a little more worried with it on the right. So you never know, and you just gotta work with the horse in the situation that you have at that day and time. And just because they're okay with something one day doesn't always mean when you come back the next that they're gonna still feel that way about it. You know, and depending on a lot of things, you may have to start over, kind of. Hopefully you'll get to where you want a little bit quicker than the day before. But you can't take a little bit of a step backwards as you're not doing a good job, because they are animals and you know, all kinds of things can affect them depending on, you know, maybe if they got worked up in the night for whatever reason, or you know, there's some funny noises that day or something, and then the horse is just feeling a little off, a little uncomfortable. Maybe one day if it's really warm, you notice your horse is much more docile, and then when the weather gets a little cooler, it might be a little spunkier, a little more sensitive. So all those things can affect our horses. We got to keep that in mind, and just continuing to work with the one that shows up with us that day. So once he feels fairly solid with whatever tool I'm using, you know, whatever your choice is, rope, flag, stick, then I'm going to start trying to get to my hand and getting the same thing with my hand, touching down the legs and playing with the tail a bit. But of course I got to be really careful because that's a danger zone. So this is how I'm going to get to doing that, along with keeping myself safe, and then hopefully just making my horse more comfortable with the overall interaction with me and with my tools. So that way they know they can trust those things.